modeling. I'm going to share my screen with you now. So Autodesk Inventor is found on the, and as I do this, because I'm sharing my whole screen, you can see we go into hyperdrive here. And it's an orange eye. It says Autodesk Inventor Professional. The first time you run it, it may take a while. So you just need to be patient and let it load. It may ask you if you approve of some things. You want to click through that. So the first time you load it, it takes a while. So this software, what we can do with it, we can model three-dimensional parts on the computer. We can assemble those parts into an assembly, and then we can make drawings of our parts and even animations. It's going to ask if you want to do a tutorial, and just don't do that. And when you do that, it will get you to this screen. In this screen, you can see that how the interface is set up. There's a ribbon across the top, and you can change what you're seeing on the ribbon by clicking on these buttons here. You can select what you want to do first, and almost always we start by making a part. You can see some of my recent files here that I've worked in or created, so kind of be, but usually you're just starting a new part, so we'll click part here. And we'll let it load. Again, the first time you do this, it may take a while too. A part file. And here we are at the part interface. And so let me walk you through what we have here. So up in the top left, there's an orange eye. I'm sorry, there's a file here, an orange file. And when you click on this, you can do things like open files. You can make new files like assemblies, drawings, parts. You can save stuff. That's usually what we're doing from this interface. It's either at the beginning of the day or end of the day. We're clicking on this file to open something up or save what we're doing. Up across the top here, you have different tabs you can click on. So there's 3D Model, Sketch, Inspect. Tabs is a ribbon of buttons that you can use to manipulate your drawing. Also, there's some quick links up here at the top. So if you want to save something, you can click on the floppy disk to save something. You can go back by hitting the back arrow. Just some quick links for you as you do stuff. Help section over here. So if you get stuck and want to look something up, you can access Autodesk's help files for Inventor to give you some information. Work screen. So this is where your part kind of shows up in this gray screen as you build it. Off to the top right is called the Viewcube, and so you can around. Let's go ahead and open up an old part. So I'm just going to go to File, Open, and let's see if I can find part file in here somewhere. Let's go File, and you'll see here are some of my recent documents, and so let's just open one of these recent ones. And so, oh, that one's not found. I can find one that I actually might be able to find. Oh, looks like I can't find anything. So why don't I just make a quick part? I'm going to start a sketch plane and just draw a rectangle here. I'm not too concerned about anything beyond this. Finish the sketch and then extrude it a little bit and call that good, just so we can have a shape here. When we click on the home button on the Viewcube, it puts our part into the screen. We can rotate it around, look at different views of it, and then go back to home. Over here are some other ways we can manipulate our view. So this is an orbit button. We can orbit the shape around by clicking and dragging. I'll go back to home here. Off to the left, there's a real tendency to want to close this out. There's an X here. Don't do it. This kind of stores what you've done with the part, and you can go back and manipulate it later. So I'd strongly encourage you to to not close this window out. It always works so that somebody closes it out. So if it does get closed out, it's your screen size. But again, we can't edit our part or do kind of things that are important to changing our part if we do close that out. So to bring that back, it's view, click on user interface, and then click on the browser. Now I'll bring that back, and it is something that's really important to have. Down at the bottom here, we can shift between different parts. So if I added parts, I could click it, or I can go back to this home view and back to the part. With a part, then I save it. So I'll just go File, Save, and for now I'm going to save it to my desktop. So we'll just call this the test part. And then we'll get into some more depth of how we do this. But this should give you a general sense of the interface and how Autodesk Inventor works. Next on up, we'll start working on the Pegboard toy. So we'll stop